nam yens rabai me sorry wo nam yens rabai me sorry wo ooh yeah ooh be quiet ooh yeah oh ooh ni namo kania ashray and never arrive ooh be quiet ooh yeah oh ooh ni namo kania ashray and never sunshine rain me sorry wo oh hi what's this sunshine rain me sorry wo oh yes Welcome. God bless you for connecting with me. This is your show, Italk with Pastor Kwame. You are watching FBN, and we are back here to continue our conversation. The purpose of this show is to help reduce the pain of humanity just a little bit. And so it's always a delight and a joy to connect with you. I want you to share. I hope all my students will come through. They have gone hiding. So today I'm like that. When I surprise. So I hope to connect with my students online and learn one or two important things that can be beneficial. I greet you with Jesus' joy. I'm really excited to continue this show, and we hope that you will learn from it. And I feel that your time on even when I come live, but even if you can watch the show after the live episode, it is still going to be a blessing because it stays on the wall. So I am excited to share and to open up and give you certain things that will be very helpful to you. We are spending another time considering a real life event, a real life story, a real life situation, and then the rest of the evening I am going to be dealing with how to handle abuse, because it's very, very important that we teach ourselves how to handle abuse, because abusers are like terrorists. Abusers are like people who steal. Jesus says that you have to keep watch so that the thief will not come when you don't expect. So abuse can come when you don't expect. So I think we should be proactive. Instead of talking about abuse, we should talk about how to proactively guide yourself so that you would not look like the abuse you've been through. That's kind of my goal. So I'm going to focus more on how to handle the abuse so that you go through it and not smell like it. You go through it and not look like it. You go through it and the plans the enemy had for you, it will not succeed. So that is kind of my goal, because that is a solution. That is the only way out, because the way people are behaving these days, the Bible has emphatically declared that in the last days we have perilous time. Men shall be strangers and behave in a very sick manner. And so that's the times you are living in. So it's important that I teach how to protect yourself. So that is how we are going to approach today's show. I'm super excited and I want to spend all the time today dealing with the issue of the abuse. So we will not waste a lot of time at all. We will get into the real life story for the day, and then we will take some of the students brought some comments in, and so I will just play those comments for your hearing, and I'll get right into it, so that right after the other side of the break, we might go to break earlier so that I can get more time to deal with the subject matter at hand. By the way, I want to talk about my 11th anniversary. This weekend is when I get to celebrate my 11th anniversary. And guess what? The same Saturday that is my 11th anniversary is the Saturday of my baby dedication. It's just amazing. So I'm doing a baby dedication for baby Joshua on Saturday, and it also happens to be my 11th wedding anniversary. God has blessed me so good, and I'm excited about it. So it's an exciting weekend for me. And I thank my producer. I thank the TBN family. The FBN family for this great honor giving me to share my thoughts on real life issues. All right. So please share. I know it's a busy weekend, so people are excited doing their own things. But those of you who are online, I want you to share so we can have a very good time together today, because I always bring something which I believe is helpful and beneficial. So if you're excited like I am, I want you to share. I want you to click like. I want you to show me some love and push some love over there. I'm pushing some love for myself. Guess what? All right. So that's the game plan for today. And I've not seen it. Thank you very much. My producer is giving me a shout out on my anniversary. I've not seen any student online yet, and so I'm going to proceed. With thank you, producer. Thank you. I think somebody is showing me love. I appreciate that. God bless you. All right. So without wasting much time at all, today I hope to stick with time so that I can really close the subject on abuse. So we're going to take the clip on the real life story, and then I will just wait for some comments to come in, and I'll address that real life story. And on the other side of the break, we'll come back and deal with how to handle abuse. All right. So let's roll the clip on what the story is for today.
My husband wants a sick mom to move in with us. She has been unwell for years now and currently lives in the village, but has become too old and sickly to care for herself. Yes, she needs help as she is slowly losing her memory and sometimes even forgets to eat. I'm against the idea because she will be my responsibility as he travels a lot for work. Honestly, I do not think it should be my responsibility to care for her. We have a son who equally needs my attention. Even my parents support the decision. My suggestion to him is that we find someone in the village to take care of her, as he has no siblings to take over the responsibility. However, my husband won't hear of it. He says his mother is coming to live in his house and those who don't like it should leave. A statement I find unfair. We are not financially able to hire another maid to care for her. How do I convince my husband that this is a bad idea and will bring us problems?
All right, all right. Welcome back. So that is the story. Let me recap this. My new reader took her time to really break it down. So see, the story is plain and simple. The husband is bringing the mother who is not doing well and needs care, elderly care attention, because of how things are kind of going down with her health condition. And so the husband wants to bring the mom to live with them because that is kind of the most affordable option as we speak. And the wife understands that this is not just my husband bringing his mother home, but it's me now going to be stretched to the max. And therefore, I want my husband to look in my direction and not bring the mother to live with us because it's going to be difficult considering the fact that I have a child that I am taking care of. So the woman now is asking, how do I go about it? But the husband has made up his mind that my mom is coming, and if you don't want that, then that is your business. And so it's causing a little bit of problem. So that's what is happening. So let me take some time and kind of play some comment from some of the students. They think that because they said their comments, they are no longer supposed to be in class. All right. So let me play one of the comments from one of the students, and this is what the student said.
I understand the woman, but for peace to reign in her marriage, she should accept and allow the mother in law to come to the house.
All right. So Mami Yaku said that for peace to reign is essential that the woman understands and let the wife, I mean, let the mother comes in. So she is going for peace to remain. That it should be something that the wife must understand, that pushing this matter of a sick mother and a son, you're not going to win. So just let peace remain. All right, let me take another audio comment from Ama and see what
Sick
she
mom
says.
to move in with.
All right, so let's hear what Ama says.
Good afternoon, sir. I think if it were to be her mother, she wouldn't have suggested that. She should allow her husband to bring his mother to their home. What is good for the goose is also good for the gander. Since she wouldn't have allowed her mother to be in the village, she shouldn't also allow her mother-in-law to be in the village.
All right, so
She's her mother too.
that's a good point. So Ama is saying that this is not as simple as ABC. But on the other hand, this is something that the wife should consider it as if it is her mom. And if it's her mom, she wouldn't miss a beat going to pick the mother quickly from the village. So this is what it is. The wife must understand that is just what it is. Let me take a third comment and see on Facebook if there's another comment. I'll take a third comment and then I will give my
so that the
inputs.
person takes good care of her
Right.
in the village because of this reason.
Let me play the audio from the beginning. All right. So this is what.
Start keeping. So we all know she's not coming to stay for good.
All right. Let me start from scratch. All right.
Hello,
So let's
lovely
listen.
people. This is Lady Adele contributing from Ghana. Hope you're all doing well. Okay, so back to the topic of the day. I think that this lady has very tangible reasons why the mother in law cannot join them. In fact, her reasons are perfect, very convincing. But on the other hand, I also think that for you to say no to your mother in law is quite sad. I don't think any husband would be glad if the wife should tell him that no, your mother cannot live with us. No, your mother cannot join us here. For no reason should your mother come and stay with us. No husband will be happy. Let's say that it's her mom who is in such a situation and needs to join them. I think this woman would have found every reason why her mom should join them. So, same way the man feels his mom should have any reason to be able to live with them. So, I was suggesting that for whatever reason she's saying the woman cannot join them, she should at least try and make some sacrifices. To every situation, there is a way out. So she should try and make sacrifices. She should try her best and let the woman move in. You let her move in. We all can see from the reasons you are giving that it will be very difficult for the woman to stay with you. Yes. So you let her move in. And then when she comes to stay, the husband himself will realize that no, it's having a toll on us. No, we are having too many issues. No, it's being too difficult for mom to be here. Since mom came, the way things are going, no, I don't think we can take it anymore. So let's find a way of making it better for her to live in their village so that she goes back to the village. I'm sure with that, everybody will see and say that, oh, she tried. But as she said, it wouldn't help. But at least she tried. So let's find a way for mom to go back to the village.
All right. So I appreciate all of them. So in summary, they are all bringing very valid point. Let me see if there's any comment or any
As
contribution
she is slowly losing her memory
on
and
Facebook.
sometimes even forget.
All right. So on Facebook, let me see if there's any comment. I've not seen any comment. Sometimes I think my Facebook feed is a little slow, so I'm unable to pick comments. So producer, please, if you see any comment on Facebook, can you send it directly to me? But I'm going to attack this, and I promise that if you make a comment, I will visit it and read it. But let's attack the issue head on. Appreciate all of them. And if I'm to summarize it, they are all in favor of the woman coming to live in the house. So, producer, if you are around, this is where you type some of the things I'm going to share. All right. The way we bring these real life issues, we bring them with understanding that it is a complex situation. We bring them with understanding that it's not that simple, right? And it's very, when you deal with humans, it's important that you understand that feelings and human emotions are involved, and human kind of desires are involved, and human wants and needs are involved. So it's not just a matter of moving things from A to B. So that is what makes things complicated. Things are always simple in theory, but in practice, people's life are involved. You understand? So that's why it's always important to seek principles so that you can toe in a very healthy line, right? So when I come in, I don't come necessarily to say who is right, but I come to kind of uncover the principles that are happening in this story. So there are a few things that are happening which I like so much. The first thing is that if the producer is around, the first I want you to write down is called the principle of honor. The principle of honor. That's the first thing on the top. The principle of honor demands that the mother gets taken care of. It's a principle of honor. So honor necessitates that the husband takes care of the mother, right? Now I'm bringing that in because it is important to emphasize that the husband has a necessity laid on him to take care of the mother. When you break a principle, you pay the consequence. Should the husband give the mother any care less than needed, he blocks his own blessings and he impedes his own opportunities that life will present because of breaking the law of honor. So it is honor. And not only is the honor on the man, because the man and the woman become one. So the honor comes to both the husband and the wife if they take care of the mother. Does it make sense? So they become one unit, and therefore it has become an opportunity to honor the mother by taking care of the mother. So the principle of honor is in play here. And when the wife and the husband don't agree and honor the mother, they do it at their own kind of disadvantage. Right? That's the first thing I want to emphasize. And if you're watching, honoring your parents is an advantage to you, not to your parents. Let me say something as a pastor. I know how God blesses people. If you go to heaven, let me take you to heaven for 30 seconds. If you go to heaven and you go to heaven payroll, and you go to heaven financial department, and you go to heaven's budget book, the biggest blessings, the biggest blessings, the biggest blessings that heaven dispatches to the earth, those who take care of widows and orphans and the poor. So as soon as you get an opportunity to take an elderly woman, you just went on heaven's highest payroll. So it's not a burden to take care of the elderly, it's a blessing. All right. Take care of the pays those who help the poor. All right. That's just by the way. So it's an honor. The second principle in place is the principle of unit. The principle of unit. And the principle of unit primarily means that, thank you. The principle of unit primarily means that your freedom to make personal decisions becomes not applicable once you bind yourself to the unit of marriage. Your freedom to make personal decisions you like and you don't like become not applicable once you join the unit of marriage. You understand? And so it's necessary that the mother gets taken care of. But understanding that I don't longer have a solo right, but it's a unit right, I must prepare my wife physically, emotionally, and mentally for this adjustment. You understand? I must prepare my wife emotionally and physically for this adjustment because unit demands that I can't just do things as if I'm still single. You understand that? So the process of bringing the mother in is both their responsibility, but a greater responsibility falls on the man to prepare the wife. So when you see that the wife is rejecting the blessing, it means the man didn't follow the due order for unit. Do you understand? You can't demand, you request because of the unit. Marriage is not all that good sometimes because it requires that for the first time, you can't do what you want. You have to do what is in the interest of the unit. Because the mother coming in is affecting the husband, affecting the wife, and affecting the child. So because all of them will be affected, you must prepare the grounds, bring them to a place where they're ready to accommodate the change and accommodate the new situation. And as a head of the house, it's your responsibility to bring your wife to a place where you have shown her the blessing in doing what they are doing, shown her that because of that, I will not be even traveling like I used to, because this has become all out. That is really the things I want you to focus on when it comes to doing life. when it comes to doing life, it is not what you do, but how you do it. Almost always understand that you can walk and insult people, you can walk and bless people. The same is a walk. So always understand that it is the non-verbal, it is the things you do on the side that makes an action good. When we were growing up as boys, every small space between houses is good enough for us to play soccer. So next to my house is a big house where they sell food. So it's a huge house. And time after time, we will kick the soccer ball, and the soccer ball will go over the house and enter the house. And whichever woman who happens to be cooking at that time will grab the ball. You understand? The woman will grab the ball and then will seize the ball. So when we go into the house, because you kick it over the wall, so you have to physically now go inside the house to pick the ball. But once we get there, most of the women will take the ball and seize it for almost about to throw her dinner away or knock her dinner off her stove. And here is my reason for bringing this story. When we go back to our house, we must talk to the wisest elder in our house to go get the ball for us. If you make a mistake and you pick the dumbest elder who just goes there and doesn't know how to talk and ends up fighting them, you don't come with the ball. So there's always a way to present a matter where you satisfy the emotional requirement of the situation and the physical requirement. So the husband has forgotten the principle of unit to understand that for that to happen, I must do the due order. The second principle involved is called the principle of request and not demand when it comes to seeking care. Again, the principle of request and not demand when it comes to seeking care. It is a bad idea to upset somebody who will care for your loved one. It's always a smart idea that you don't upset somebody who cooks your food and somebody who cares for your loved one. You understand? So right away, because if the mother was strong and could do everything for herself and she's just coming to live there, that's a different game that requires that the law of unity be obeyed. But not only is she coming, but the wife will be taking care of her at his absence. So because of that, it becomes double necessary that you make sure that you prepare the heart of the wife very well, so that out of that good work you have done in her and the right talk and the right preparation you have put in her, she is now doing overtime in making your mom good. But to say if you are not in agreement with this, leave the house, you just created a perfect environment for an evil woman to destroy your mother. So the law states that when in need of care, always request, don't demand. Because if you demand care, the caregiver will abuse the care receiver. You understand that? Especially when the care receiver is vulnerable. All right. Lastly is the part of the woman that so let me see. All right. My producer is doing good, and my producer's husband is also on point. Thank you for wishing me happy 11th. Yes. I think you and First Lady are also either catching up or you are somewhere climbing the ladder. All right. So let me address the last portion, and we go to I believe we go to But if anybody has any comment and questions, I would love to have them. I don't see my students here on the line yet, but it is good. They're going to be surprised when I announce what they missed for not coming. All right, so in the final analysis, right? The principles I've talked about is how you navigate it up to the point. So the last thing is now on the side of responding to a situation like this, the wife is dealing with what I call the evidence is stronger than convincing. Evidence is a truth that states that evidence is stronger than convincing without it. You understand that? What do I mean by that? The heart of the wife should be such that, one, she should position herself in such a way that she understands that the evidence of the difficulty cannot be in word. And so if the husband is going to understand what she is saying, like Adele said, there must be a phase where the mother is actually in the house and the evidence is speaking for itself. When you are dealing with sensitive mother-son issue, you must play it with wisdom so that evidence speaks. Because every woman who listens to this says that the woman is wrong. So the way to be right is to allow the transition to take place. And right before your eyes, when things become unbearable, there and then you are, and it's unfortunate, but it's true. This is not a principle, this is a revelation. Men don't listen until the consequences are in their face. Every wife knows what I'm saying. Men don't listen until the consequence in their face. So you must understand that the space with which the man will begin to rethink this decision is a space of the practice. Two things will happen. The wife will learn to either see whether she has overestimated or underestimated her strength. Do you understand? Because saying no to the mother is saying no to the husband. So the wife also must understand that I can't say no until I know that no is the right answer. She's assuming she can handle it. She could be right, she could be wrong. But because it's a matter of your husband and both of you are to enjoy the blessing, you must say, honey, let's bring her and let's see how we handle it. After all, if we can't, it will be clear to us that we cannot. And then we'll find another position. But I believe if the husband has done the due diligence and prepared the wife would have gained the emotional strength and the emotional vigor to face this new challenge, with the understanding that the husband also has made it clear that this new addition to our unit is going to require all of us to sacrifice. Instead of me traveling every 5 times, this time it will be 4 times. So that conversation must be there. The last point I will say before we go on a break and I come back and talk about emotional abuse is this. Abuse is this. We don't do what is expected. We do what is in our strength. Hear me good. You don't have to write this down because this one requires explanation. It's not a very clear principle. We don't do what is expected. We do what is in our strength. You understand? Life will bring you things that is expected of you. like take care of this mother. But the point is, if your strength cannot take care, your strength cannot. Period. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So in life, when life demands more than you can have, it's a problem, but it happens. The right thing is to take care of her, but you may not have the strength and the ability in the inventory to do that. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So in life, you don't do what is expected, you do what your strength can. So always, when you see what is expected, evaluate your strength first. Jesus said like this: nobody builds a house and forget that, oops, I didn't have enough money. You understand? So life will give you something to do, but you can't do what life is asking. You can only do what you can afford. This is what I'm trying to say. So always look at what the strength you have, the time you have at hand, and compare it to what life is asking you. Because if you don't do that, you end up trying to do things you cannot do. And Jesus said it will bring shame to you and disgrace. Always calculate the strength you have before you approach the things that is happening. Do you understand? So that is what I believe is missing. What is missing in this big picture? Because if quality care is going to happen to the mother, the wife's heart must be in the matter. If the wife's heart is going to be the matter, the husband's mouth must touch the wife's heart. If the husband's mouth touch the wife's heart, the husband's mouth must also touch his schedule so that he can also be around enough so that the unit will not break. I think I have to share this. All of you listening to me, I want to tell even my producer and the wife, God bless you for all you do in the kingdom, but we want you to rest more because we need you to stay longer. In life, people who always help, if you are a wise leader, you always try to design a relationship such that you keep them for a long haul. I'm telling you by experience. If we're a leader, if people that as soon as you say help, they will help, people like that are difficult to come by. And if you work them how, they will fall apart easily. So if you want somebody to stay with you for a long time, sometimes don't ask them for help. Because if you know that if you ask, they will do it. A wife who is like that, this wife will speak her mind. But a wife who is like that, even though it is difficult for her, she will serve this woman for maybe 6, 7, 8 years. And then on the 10th year, she will develop cancer. And they say, oh, this good woman has died. If you work your body, you go die. You see what I'm saying? So somewhere, I don't want to mention names, there were a church that was about 30 years old. And I watched that for some strange reason. All the people that worked in that church for that long, they were dying out of cancer. This is what I'm saying. So the point is this. The fact that somebody can do it, the fact that somebody is willing, doesn't mean you should let them do it. Because your strength must be managed so they can stay for a long time. Women are amazing. Women are amazing. When I look at my wife, I don't understand why I get to enjoy the things I enjoy. She works just like I work. She cooks and I have no idea how to cook. She's so clean that it is just crazy. So because she's that clean, she can't allow the house to look bad. And with these 3 kids, they are always making a mess. So she's always on the run and works. She has never slept since we got married. 11 years, she has worked 9 shifts. You see? And so if I just close my eyes and I don't do what I can to make her life easier, and I say, oh, as for her, she's a superwoman, before you know, then I can't have her anymore. And I'm spoiled. And now I'm in hot water. You feel me? So when it comes to living with people, if a person has a good heart and willing to help, and you are a leader or you are in the life of such a person, always understand that I can't eat my cake and have it. If I overwork this person, one small body pain and she will fall apart. Is somebody hearing me? So I want you to pay attention to how you calculate your words. So that's why when I started this show, I was making reference, any question. Yeah, yes, please. Rest is super important, President. You and wife, sometimes you should shut FBN and rest, or let the assistants run it for a while so you guys can rest. You understand? Because the body doesn't break down when you work hard, right? It only breaks down when you work hard for a long time. You understand? In the same way, emotionally, for example, Chuck Swindoll said, hard times make you tough, but continuous hard time will destroy you. You see, so that is the balance I want to bring. But to solve this problem, the wife now has to make the call. She has to. The husband has locked it in. She didn't do the proper groundwork, and so he has made up his mind. And because it's a matter of family and mother, the wife has to be the bigger person. Except, and what is interesting is that when I recorded this live episode, the wife said something which I didn't include. The wife said that she's also looking for someone who knows where elderly care can be provided around their house, so that can also be an option. But consider the fact that they don't have money for a house help, they may not be having, but the wife is willing. So at this point, the wife must be willing to demonstrate with all she can, so that the husband will know that it's a choice between killing me and killing your mother. Because if I keep doing this and I have no sleep and I have to take care of your mother, and if she comes and is super demanding, I may be able to do it, but my health is being compromised in the long run. All right, so thank you so much for listening. We'll be back to talk about the abuse that is all over, killing people, destroying people in all kinds of places, and how to handle it. This is your show, Italk. I hope you are learning something. I always appreciate my producer and the wife as they stay in my class and listen. We'll be back to talk about how to handle abuse. God bless you. Slow down. Yeah. Truly gonna talk, y'all. God is faithful, you heard? Yeah. Don't you ever rush in life. Faithfully see who is called you. 1,000 years he said they forgot. You would never end in shame. Don't you ever rush in life. Faithfully see who has called you. 1,000 years he said they forgot. Don't rush. You would never end in shame. Say love them. Some say God is slow to his promises. Some say God takes too long to fulfill his word. Now that no Hono kafo, hono na wafrawo. Evia pem, yane dabrunte. Oma wanim, henga se. Young children say. So many things that happen for this world. All right, welcome back. So I got a good comment that I have to read. I think it's hitting right on it. It says, this is tough one. The man should know that if the woman becomes overwhelmed with the responsibility of taking care of her mom, he won't enjoy. Yes. So yes, that that is true. That is true. You know, producer, I don't know. So is my show PG-13 or not PG-13, right? I have had a lot of producer tell me, it's my show PG-13 or not PG-13. But I know how to say so that I don't get in trouble. I have had a lot of pastors and men in general. They are very, 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 very disappointed in the number of times their wives give them sex. Okay, a lot of men, from pastors to a lot of men who are faithful men, they are very, very disappointed, secretly frustrated of how much, and they have concluded that they think that their wives don't like sex. That's the report they give me. I don't think my wife likes sex, right? I want every man to listen to me. It is important to understand that sex comes with a restful life, right? Sex and stress don't go together. You understand? I don't know if I'm in trouble or I'm not in trouble yet. You can't demand your level of sex when you sit down and you put together how much work your wife is doing. Do you understand? And I want you to know that if you don't loosen her load, her sex drive, her sex desires will be swallowed by utensils. Her sex desires will be swallowed by laundry soap. Do you understand what I'm saying? In other words, the human system put energy where energy must go. So if she works hard and work hard and work hard and work hard, I think I'm preaching to myself, then her biology will take all the strength for that part and use it for the extra work that she's doing. You understand that? So be very careful about that. All right. So I like that point. It says now he wouldn't be able to enjoy exactly because she's tired. He should reason with the wife to see how best they can care for his mom. She's coming over, then the man should be ready to help because that's the main concern of the wife. Yep. But if he says you can't leave, that is selfish talk, right? And it's a selfish talk coming from a man who is dealing with an issue that he was expecting the wife to be on board, right? He's speaking out of frustration, right? Because my own mom is in trouble and you are telling me something different, right? The husband is mad and that's why he's talking like that, right? So it's very, very important that we understand the things that are involved. But on this 11th anniversary, if I'm to repent, I'm to repent so that I will be able to help my wife. You know, what happened to me, which I always share my life on my podcast, so I don't mind sharing here, is the week I got married was a week I became a senior pastor of a church. So the church stole most of my kind of focus that I couldn't really go through my job description as a husband very well in the house. So I'm still learning how to do and hold my weight, because the church held me very much. And so I couldn't play my good role. But it's very important that every husband understands that if you love your wife and you want to keep her for a long time, then don't overwork her. All right, good point, good point. Thank you all for listening. Let's go to Facebook and see if I have any comment. Why? How come my show finished so fast? All right, Mami is on. Mami is on. Mami, you are blessed to be on. You came late, but you're blessed to be on. We are almost done. Um, and I did your comment. Oh my doctor. What did my doctor say? He said he's dealing with one. Doctor, what are you dealing with? If you want to elaborate, I appreciate that. Yes, my doctor is on. Impressive. Yeah. So we are going to now spend a little time to deal with the issue of handling abuse. Right now, always remember, you are to go through abuse, not to make it your address. As soon as abuse sets in your life, your first thing is that I am designed to go through abuse, not to stay in abuse. What do I mean by that? It means that it's either I will exit this toxicity or the environment will change for me to stay. Do you see what I'm trying to say? That is the approach. And I started last week by talking about the fact that it is very important that you make sure that you don't look like the abuse you have experienced. It is your responsibility to make sure that you don't look like the abuse you have experienced. And you can do that by thinking of it this way. The winter is very abusive. And you can look like the winter, where by the time the winter is over, you are literally dead, or the winter came and you were seen on the other side of the winter. Unfortunately, every summer, a lot of elderly people die because the heat wave is crazy. So that is how abuse is. You must make sure that every protective garment, every protection on my side that I can do, so that this cold will not get into my lungs, so that this abuse will not get into my emotional energy, so that I become a broken girl, I become a destroyed girl, I will do it by first refusing to have a pre-existing condition. All women who break down beyond recovery in an abusive relationship, they enter the relationship with pre-existing condition, meaning that they entered the relationship with the understanding that I am nothing without this guy, with a very low self-esteem, with a very low mentality, with come and help me, come and feed me mentality. You went in with nothing of your own. So right away, you have staged yourself for somebody to abuse you. So if you are going to survive an abuse, you mustn't go into a relationship with a pre-existing condition where where the person leaves you a minute. Some abusive men can look in the face of the girl and says, "You, if I leave you, nobody will love you, will love you or care about you, because you have decided not to come into life with your 2 feet. You have decided to come into relationship as a beggar. You have come to a relationship as a welfare case. So you have a pre-existing condition. So the point is, abuse will come in many shapes or form, but make sure you are protecting yourself, because the cardinal rule is we go through abuse, we don't stay there. As soon as the abuse starts, you pursue a higher calling by looking at how the environment, especially if it's a marriage, you're looking at how the environment can change. The first course of action is, how do we change this environment? Because this is my home. My marriage is my home. So if there's abuse in my marriage, I can't leave my marriage, because when I leave my marriage, I've left my home. So the first course of action is, how do we address this abuse? And your approach, therefore, is to find ways to approach it. But at the same time, you understand that I won't make an abuse my address. So if the higher road doesn't work, I won't stay in this and die. You understand that? But again, it comes down to how much of a pre-existing condition did you bring to the situation? Because some women cannot leave because they don't have anything to call their own. They don't have any leverage. Do you know that when it comes to abuse warfare, I have to write a book on marital abuse warfare. When it comes to the abuse warfare, any tool at your disposal can be your advantage. How much you make as a wife can help you tone down the abuse your husband is giving you. You see what I'm trying to say? So you have to make sure that you are doing everything to de-escalate the abuse by looking at the situation and saying that my husband needs me, and so he must act right. You follow? But I really want to emphasize on the fact that your personal protection, maybe let me give, to close up our show, let me give maybe 2 or 3 practical things you can use to protect yourself in abuse. And definitely assuming that you don't have any pre-existing condition, right? To protect yourself in an abusive environment, it goes back to, you must know your worth as a person, and you must understand that your personhood, who you are, is not going to be depending on the abuser's view about you and the abuser's validation about you. That you must understand and understand and understand. The cross was more abusive than any other death in history, in my opinion. The only reason Jesus went through is because the cross didn't change who he was, even though he didn't look different from the other 2 thieves. If you know who you are, your experience does not define you. Noel Jones says it this way: 3 men on the cross. If you take a selfie, they all look the same. But if you get closer, one is dying from sin. The one that said, remember me, he's dying from sin. The one in the middle is dying for sin. And the last one is dying in sin. You get a picture. The one that said, remember me, is dying from sin. The one in the middle, which is the Son of Man, Son of God, is dying for sin, F-O-R. And the one who said, if you are God, save yourself, is dying in sin. So don't think I am a product of the environment I'm experiencing. I know who I am, and my confidence is in so much of who I am that the abuser, his words, his treatment, his negative reaction towards me doesn't eat my heart because I am protected by who I am, a healthy view of who I am. The other thing I want you to understand, also is this. A second way to protect yourself in an abuse is to always, always, always understand that people will take advantage over you based on how much you have broken and reduced your boundaries. Do you understand that? One of the students in my class, this will be the last point. One of the students in my class, which I shared here, is a mother of 7 children. Unfortunately, the mother is not saved. So the student is a mother, but the student's mother is not saved. The student is a powerful prayer warrior woman of God, but the mother is not saved. So the mother has a loose way of speaking. So the mother will continuously verbally insult this woman of God. And so one day she looked at the mother and said, "Mother, I want you to listen to me and listen good. I refuse for you to use these foul words with me again. And I hope you respect that." That was the end of the matter. So in any abusive place, if we get into the detail of why people abuse and all that, let them snap out of it. In my book, 50 Definitions of Marriage, I have a chapter that talks about fight the abuser. Basically, what I'm saying is that some people, the only time they will shut up is when you really give it to them very good. From, from that point, they adjust accordingly. You see what I'm saying? So make sure the boundaries is clear, that I can't cross this anymore. Respect yourself so others can respect you. Respect yourself so others can respect you. Make sure that you let it become clear that this cannot repeat itself. I am too valuable for you to do this again. And if I respect you this much, I demand the same back. You follow? All right, cool. So our time is up. I'm preparing for tomorrow baby dedication. So I'll leave all you here, and we didn't get time to do questions, but I hope everything is clear. But I will speak to my producer. If she's tired of abuse topic, we will finish it up. I mean, we will not touch it anymore. But I want to speak from my heart, because I have a lot of practical points on why people get abused and all of that, which I've shared before. But this time I want to talk about how to really not stay and die. Put all the measures in place so that something got to give. Something got to give. Either he changed or I change my address. Something got to give. And most abusers are sick. Most abusers are sick. And so at the end of the day, the abuse is a symptoms of their sickness. So you either drive them to the hospital, literally by refusing to accept the abuse, so that they have to go back and fix the wounds that is causing them to act crazy, or they pay the consequence of losing you. If an abuser cannot lose you, you are a true victim. You should tell in the face of the abuser, you can lose me if you continue like this. You are going to die in an abusive marriage if the abuser cannot lose you. And I want you to know, when it comes to life and death, choose life. You may have nothing. You may have all the pre-existing condition. You have nothing to your name. You have nowhere to go. I will still want you to be homeless than to be dead. All right, Father, we pray today that you help us grow and learn and become all that you want us to be as we pursue life. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you. I will check all of you out next Friday. Based on my producer's permission, we will either pick up from where we left off on abuse, or we will start discipleship, because we are promised that we'll do discipleship and it has not come through. But let me see if there's any question on the table that I must talk about. Yes, put them in their place. Exactly. Choose life. I love it. Thank you. All right. Shout out. God bless. I will connect with all of you again next week. This is your show, Italk with Pastor Kwame, and you are watching FBN. Shalom.
For those of you that are afraid, hey, 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 you're not alone. God is in control. Oh, the Lord on your side. Oh, you are saying, hey, 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 hey. I know they fear. What's in life that do me? The Lord on my side, 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 side. I am safe, safe, safe. It's not giving me the spirit of fear. It's not giving me a reason to fear. He has given me power and a sound mind, and a sound mind. So I don't fear who. I don't fear who. I don't fear who. I don't fear who. You're not alone, no. God is in control. The Lord on your side, oh. You are safe, hey, 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 hey. You're not alone. You're not alone. God is in control, oh, oh. The Lord on your side, oh, oh. You're not alone. You are safe. I know they fear. Waiting like they do. The Lord on my side, I am safe. I'm not afraid, 'cause I am not alone. God is in control. God is in control. I am not safe. I am not alone. God is in control. God is in control. God is in control. God is in control. I don't fear who. Wait till life they do me.